Hi, my name is Claudia Flores from Northeastern CBKI Lab. I'm presenting the paper Datavoidant, an AI system for addressing political data voids on social media that I wrote with my co-authors Shangbin Feng from Shangyangtong University and Dr. Saiph from Northeastern University. Researchers have acknowledged that the lack of high-quality information about relevant topics facilitates the spread of disinformation on search engines and social media platforms. This dynamic, when there is high demand for information about a topic, but credible information is in low supply, is called a data void. For instance, in the run-up to the 2020 US elections, data voids were filled with disinformation targeting underrepresented communities such as the Black and the Latino communities. For this reason, independent journalists decided to join forces to provide voters with high-quality information, and they published their news reports on different social media platforms. However, a recent survey made to over 1,000 journalists highlighted how they often felt overwhelmed. And one of the reasons is that they lack the tools to make sense of all the information circulating on these platforms. This inspires us to create a system to help independent journalists targeting underrepresented communities identify and address political data voids on social media. Now, to design Datavoidant, we recruited 22 independent journalists focused on creating content and addressing disinformation targeting underrepresented communities. We asked them about their experiences covering data voids, their motivations, and the challenges they face in doing so. Based on their responses, we designed Datavoidant using Piroli and card sense-making theory, different machine learning models for the analysis and visualizations, and we also integrated collaborative features. Datavoidant uses Facebook data, and the main reason is that this social media platform is still very popular among underrepresented communities, especially for news consumption. Datavoidant has two main modules, and the first module is the Intelligent Data Void Visualizer. Using this module, users can perform collective sense-making to identify and understand data voids across different topics discussed within different Facebook groups and pages that they predefine. The system shows the number of posts per topic, the percentage of automated accounts per topic, as well as the percentage of comments and shares that each topic has. The system also shows a visualization that allows users to see which political leaning is covering each topic the most. It is focused in the US, therefore it presents the amount of conservative, liberal, or neutral content per topic. Now, users can also view detailed information per topic. So once the users decides which topic they want to analyze, the system is going to show them the frequent groups and pages posting about that topic, the number of posts related to that topic created by different types of Facebook groups and pages such as news media outlets, political groups, or citizen groups. This way, users can understand which type of groups are discussing this topic the most. Datavoidant also shows the individual posts of that topics classified by political leaning. This way, users can read individual posts across different political leanings and identify which narratives are being discussed and analyze if some of those narratives might be considered problematic or might contain disinformation that they want to address. Now, the system has another model that is called the Collaborative Data Void Addresser. We implemented this model mainly because the journalists in our study reported that they were used to collaborate and communicate with colleagues when addressing disinformation narratives targeting underrepresented communities. The model has two main features. The first one is a shared document in which users can collaborate to create news reports once they understand what's going on in the information ecosystem. For instance, which type of data voids might exist and which type of data voids they want to address. The second feature that this module has is a chat room. in which users can discuss the findings about the information that is presented to them in the Intelligent Data Void Visualizer. And also they can use the chat room to start to devise different strategies about how will be the best way to address the different data voids. Now, to evaluate the system, we carry out a user study, and we recruited 22 journalists and asked them to perform a series of tasks using Datavoidant, and then asked them a series of questions about their experience. In general, journalists in our study reported that the system allowed them to easily understand what was happening in the information ecosystem. For instance, over 90% of them reported that it was either very easy or easy to identify data voids across different topics. Over 70% of them reported that it was either very easy or easy to identify data voids across different political leanings. And over 80% of them reported that it was either very easy or easy to identify data voids across different types of Facebook groups and pages. Regarding their experience, they said that Datavoidant gave them confidence in the content they created. And this is because it helped them to be aware of what existed, what did not exist, and how people engage with the content on different topics. Now, even though collaborative features were valued, some journalists were missing the richness of day-to-day collaborative environments. For instance, some journalists were used to utilize Google Docs in their jobs. Therefore, they were missing the ability to be able to change the font size or leave comments in the document. With Datavoidant, we aim to give a step forward toward designing systems and follow a proactive approach to counter disinformation and move away from the reactive approach currently followed through fact-checking. With Datavoidant, we also aim to give a step forward towards designing systems for underrepresented communities. For instance, according to our study, independent journalists targeting underrepresented communities place a high value on collaborating to address data voids, strategize how to address them, and create content together. That's why we incorporated collaborative features into the system. Now, journalists in our study acknowledge the power of mainstream media to control what it is published, creating what other researchers call strategic silences. They also acknowledge how bad actors are weaponizing these silences to set their own agendas and spread disinformation. Our goal is that Datavoidant enables independent journalists to conduct a strategic amplification of the content that is relevant to citizens. Now, despite the best efforts of journalists, we know that there might be algorithmic limitations that could decrease the reach of the articles that they create. That's why, in the future work, we aim to expand Datavoidant to include other social media sources and allow journalists to study data voids across different social media platforms. That's it for my presentation. I'm open to questions. Thank you very much.